So once we've used our quality tools to flag any quality issues, we then need to come up with a plan. We need to we need to come up with a possible solution or way to improve quality and implement it. So once we have those tools, we need a method for generating ideas, solutions to those questions that arose. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some methods for generating ideas. Really, we want to look at some participatory problem solve. So we want to engage what we call a quality circle in this problem solving. So a quality circle is a group of workers who meet to discuss ways to improve process and product. Quality circles consist of people from all different areas within your company. So that would include somebody from operations and somebody from marketing and somebody from accounting or finance. You're taking people from all different areas of expertise so that as we problem solve, we get all these different perspectives. So we want to engage our employees. So participatory problem solving, we're going to use Kaizen, right? So continuous improvement that involves everyone. So then once we identify the questions, how do we generate ideas so that we can empower the employees and make the continuous improvement? Well, within your quality circle, you're probably going to do some brainstorming. This is where you're generating a free flow of ideas. And we talked earlier this semester about some brainstorming methods. Remember, we looked at APC, alternatives, possibilities, and choices, where you just listed out all kinds of ideas with no judgment. Okay? So we need to be able to just brainstorm tons of ideas or possible solutions to improve our quality. We may need to gather some additional information. So we may need to do some interviewing. We may need to collect information from our customers, from our suppliers, from employees about what they're observing so that we can better understand. As we ask those questions, as we look at those quality tools, we're going to need to collect some additional information to help explain what we're observing. Okay, so we'd report back to our quality circle on the information we obtained through interviews, and we'd want to be able to compare to a benchmark. So the benchmarking is when we're going to measure our performance against the best in the same industry. So how are we doing compared to the competition? Is the competition having these same quality issues? How are they addressing them? Okay. Now, as we come up with ideas to solve our quality issues, or as we try to answer those questions that arose out of our quality tools, we want to do what's called a 5W2h approach. The 5W2h approach goes back to those 5 W's and 2 H's that you learned about in school, right? It's who, what, where, when, why, and then we have our 2 H's, which is how and how much. So as you're looking at the data from your quality tools, you want to be asking the 5W2H. Where is the defect? Where else could the defect be? When did it occur? Why did it occur? How did this defect happen? When else could it have happened? How much of a problem is it? So as you are looking at your quality issues, you should be able to come up with many who, what, where, when, why questions, and many how and how much questions. And this will enable you to dig deeper to get to root causes of the quality issues, and that way you can make quality improvements. All right, so you have your quality circle, they've brainstormed, they've interviewed and collected additional data, you're compared to the benchmark, we're digging deeper with our 5 W2H questions, and then we need to come up with a consensus. We need to take that quality circle and take all those different ideas and come up with that plan that we're going to implement as part of our Deming cycle, our plan, do, study, act. So there are some ways to help your team find a consensus. One is to do what is called list reduction. So can you take your list and start striking possible solutions off based on the likelihood of success, based on affordability, based on how complicated it would be to implement? So can you start creating some criteria to help you slash off items from your possible list of solutions? Maybe you're trying to decide between two different solutions, so let's make a pros cons list, and then also I decide what are the most important things to focus on. So remember the Pareto chart said 80% of our problems are caused by 20%. So what should we focus on? And then list some of the pros and cons in a balance sheet form to help you decide between two possible alternatives. If you have more than two possible alternatives, you might do what's called a paired comparison. So essentially what you're doing is creating a balance sheet for each combination of two. So if we look at two of them at a time, we can get an idea as to which method would be better, and then we can compare the winner of that to another alternative. And this allows you then to help narrow it down when you have 5 or fewer possible strategies. So in quality management, it's really about understanding how does our customer define quality? What does it mean to meet or exceed their expectations? What dimensions of quality are they looking for? Where is quality impacted within our production? We look at the product itself, the design of it. We look at the process. We look at how we're actually doing it, so our actual implementation or performance. We then need to analyze what's happening, so we have our quality tools. We need to make sure we're meeting our quality standards. And we then need to come up with a way to create change to improve the quality, and so we need to manage it. And so we're using TQM. We're identifying the issues we saw in the quality tools. We're brainstorming with our quality circle, coming up with a plan, making a decision, implementing it, and then it's a circle and we keep going to the next issue. And we're constantly, continually improving the quality of our production.